Welcome back, everyone. We are back with another technical analysis, and today we are taking a look at Litecoin, LTC coin, and mainly on the smaller timeframes. Now, overall, since a couple of months ago, this coin has been one of the major coins that we've been holding, and we've been looking out for some all-time high zones to be reached. So, before we take a look on smaller timeframes, just a quick overview. Basically, recently we broke from this major resistance zone on a daily time frame. You can see first touch, second touch, third touch happened here. But basically, if we tighten it up, we can take those zones as well into consideration. So some kind of resistance zone has been broken. We are way too far away from the all-time highs, so there is still chance to see a price to move at least 2 to 3x maybe from current zones. Now, after breaking out, we had a really good liquidity movement on LTC coin, and of course, so far we have breached back to the upper zones. Now, on the smaller time frames, there is two possible scenarios that we are looking for. Basically, we had really good, not good, pretty massive liquidity movement. It was 20, let's call it even 30% basically. Just span it out a little bit. So 25 to 30% of market price movement, just dumping, taking the liquidity, bouncing off from this 200 EMA, and now possibly forming either a double bottom pattern or a fake double bottom pattern. So the game plan we are looking on LTC coin is something like this. So we bounced from here nicely. Now some consolidation movement. So slightly pressuring back to this zone here. And as soon as we reach this zone, this is where we are going to see the next major zone. Not zone, but the movement. So if we reach this zone and if we see some pressure from the sellers from here on, there is two chances. Most likely we will just break this zone, form a market structure break, and just fall to the lower zones, but not way too far. We will just go for a quick liquidity movement, I think. So it won't be this huge. And then we just go for another upward movement and so on to the upper zones towards the new all-time high. Wait, this is not even nice one. Basically going up to new all-time highs. Now, the second scenario, which is less likely to happen, is basically if we break out from this smaller resistance zone on 4-hour time frame. Now, what we mean by this is if we see a pressure from the buyers, of course, breakout, then most likely, let's take the arrows. So, breakout, retest, and then most likely we will retest this zone here. Now, after we retest this zone, there is a high probability of seeing just further break of structure and further movements to the upper zones on bigger time frame, possibly even touching the all-time highs. But this game plan is for another times, most likely, because the major game plan that we have in mind, let's give it a second here, is once again touching the zone, possibly forming double bottom, but with current market positions, most likely going to be a fake one, quick liquidity movement, breakdown, and then a movement to the upper zones. So let's take a look. It would result in towards this one 15% of market price movement. With a liquidity, it might be even 20 to 25%. Exactly 25% basically. So yeah, that's the game plan we have on the LTC coin on 4-hour time frame, or smaller time frames, of course. Because if we go in let's put it in red one actually. So it's basically a bearish scenario like this. Now, if we go on 30-minute time frame, once again, we see that the price is basically even not this close, but here, and this is perfectly set, not perfectly here. So as long as we are trading inside this this resistance zone and supportive zone, most likely will just bounce from one side to another like this. Bounced, bounced, fakely bounced again, bounce, 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 and so on. So as soon as we break down from here, again forming a smaller market structure break on 30-minute time frame, and then we will see most likely a nice downward movement to lower zones towards this like 100-ish zone here, which would be the next major zone for us. So that's it on the LTC coin. We are waiting once again for a breakdown to happen and a possible liquidity moment to take out fully the liquidity, and then possibly retesting this 200 EMA again and go for another like bullish moment. But let's see what we will see here. First things first, we want to see a breakdown. So thank you for watching, and until next time.